Alright, it is time to get into modes. So when we're talking about the major modes, there are 7 of them. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian, each with their own separate character, and we're going to go through what they sound like and how they're constructed. Now for these examples, I'll be using C. And first up we have Ionian, which is the same as that C major scale that we've seen in earlier videos, made of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now let's listen to how you might use it in a song. Now this tends to have a pretty bright, light sound, and is the most frequently used mode in Western music. There are different major scales, but when you hear the term the major scale referenced, it's this Ionian natural major. Next is Dorian, and we have to answer the question, what exactly is a mode? Well, if C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, this has a flat third and a flat seventh degree. But you could also say Dorian contains the same notes as C major, but if you start on D instead, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. When you take that Ionian, flatten the third and flatten the seventh, you get the same thing as if you just used the same notes and go up 1 degree in the scale. Go from C to D. And when you do this, starting on D, it is D Dorian. So if we play the C Dorian scale, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, this is what we have. Or, if we use the same notes as the C major scale, but instead start on D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, we also get Dorian, but it's D Dorian. Let's check out how it sounds. Now there's something a little bit dark about Dorian, but not quite dark as minor. Now the difference between this and minor is that that 6th degree is not flat in Dorian. So sometimes people consider it a less dark or a softer minor. Next we have Phrygian, which includes a flat 2, a flat 3, a flat 6, and a flat 7. Or we could think of it as playing the notes of C major again, but this time go up 1 and start on E for the notes E, F, G, A, B, C, D, back to E. So here's C Phrygian. And now E Phrygian. Let's put it in a song. People often describe this as very dark, but also mysterious, perhaps from somewhere far off, and that's because Middle Eastern and Andalusian music use something very similar. In fact, Andalusian music uses something called Phrygian dominant often, which is very closely related. Now let's go to Lydian, which same thing as C major, just with the sharp F. So if you take a major scale, just move the 4 a half step up, and you have Lydian. Or we could think about it as playing the same notes as the major Ionian scale, but starting on the 4th degree. So here's C Lydian. And here's F Lydian. Let's put it to use. people tend to find this as the brightest and lightest of the modes, to the point of being ethereal or magical sounding. It also gets called whimsical as well, but be careful when using it in your writing, since it does have a tendency to try to drift off into a different mode. Next we have Mixolydian, which is the same as that major scale, but with a flat 7th degree. Or we could think of it as a major scale, but starting on the 5th degree. In this case, we're going to have the 5th degree of C major, G, and play the notes starting there. So here's C Mixolydian. And G Mixolydian. Let's play it. This is a pretty light one as well. Sometimes it's used as a replacement for the major scale in songs where they want to make use of that flatted 7th. Next is Aeolian, which is that natural minor scale that we've seen in earlier videos. We could think of it as a flatted 3rd, flatted 6th, and flatted 7th degree, or we could think start on the 6th degree and use the same notes as your major scale. So first, we're going to play C Aeolian. And here's A Aeolian. Let's turn that into something. There's something a bit serious, a little dark. Some people consider this to be a sad sounding mode. Last we have Locrian, which it's probably not going to be used. We have a flat 2, a flat 3, a flat 5, a flat 6, a flat 7. If you play the tonic chord, it's a diminished chord. It's wild. It would be like playing the notes of the C major scale, but starting on B. Let's listen to how it sounds. Here is C Locrian. And B Locrian. I'm gonna put it into a song, and you're gonna see what I mean. Yeah, people find this to be the most delicate, rich, and sentimental of all the modes. Yeah, like no one ever uses this thing because it sounds rough. But it's there, you can use it. Now, throughout the video, I brought up the idea of modes sounding light or dark, and there's generally a schema that people tend to conceptualize the modes in of going from lightest to darkest, where Lydian is thought to be the lightest, then Ionian, then Mixolydian, still on the bright side, a bit darker. Dorian we begin to get dark, but much lighter than Aeolian, which is that minor. Phrygian's dark and heavy, and Locrian is just dark and abrasive. So this can be a way to think about the modes when you're trying to figure out how to use them and what you're trying to convey. So I hope you enjoyed this jump into modes and found it useful. If you're interested in more videos that I'm going to be putting out going further into music theory, then please do subscribe. And until then, have a, this time about a good, not good, splendid, magnificent, superb day.